A little chat there during that song without our headphones on.
Yeah, and now we've put them on.
Now, does that sound any better? Do we sound any more professional?
You sound echoey.
Do I?
More. Can I take them off?
Yeah.
What happens if I take them off? This is me now speaking with them off. It's no difference for me. It's better actually for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're happy with it?
I'm having them off, yeah.
Okay, good. Outside the sun's shining and
it is.
Spring has sprung. The optimism of a summer romance that hasn't gone wrong is out there in the streets of London, and it's lovely to have someone who's got such an uplifting body of work. League of Gentlemen, Ghost Stories, Psychoville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it say about me?
Well, that's what I want to know.
Psychiatrist chat.
You know, yeah, I could have had 4 questions to get to that.
Dr. Anthony Clare.
What do you think?
With it. Well, I mean, the thing about our body of work and the fact that it's pegged as being horrible and dark and strange.
I don't think it is.
Well, good, there you are. This is what I was about to tell you, and I don't need to because you agree.
No, but I think you should tell everybody else.
Yeah,
I would just put a little caveat there. I think that the attitude that you guys have is fear is funny, and dark is also hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, but we've never really set out right from the start. We never thought, do you know what people haven't done? They've not done a dark comedy where it's all horrible and sick, and so we're affronted when people think it's sick and we're just going for kind of gross out moments because
I don't think that though.
Good. Well, I don't. I mean, and some people think that, and other people absolutely don't think that at all. Some people couldn't watch Tubbs and Edward, which were these characters we had that were kind of serial killers, local shopkeepers, and thought they were horrific, like Fred and Rose West. And other people thought they were like Mr. and Mrs. Tiggywinkle. So it's your threshold, isn't it, of what you think is dark or acceptable? And we've always just found it funny.
But I think the joy of it is that when you're writing that, you write it in such a way that people can actually think both ways. Because there's a certain sweetness to the writing as well as a certain darkness. Yeah,
well, and absolutely that comes from wanting us to initially have a sketch show kind of joke, but then taking that initial idea and those characters and then taking them out of that situation and kind of expanding it and hopefully making you care about the characters, and then then the situations you put them in, then it matters more than just kind of throwaway sketches or repeated sketches.
Now, is this an opinion that is shared by all of the gang who have offshot into worlds of magnificence off the back of League of Gentlemen? Is there a kind of a common outlook that you guys have decided to spread around the world?
Strange, like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Well, we're very like-minded in our humour, which is what has gelled us, and we've had similar experiences all through our childhood. We recall one bonfire night in 1976 where we all stayed in and didn't watch the fireworks but watched Carry On Screaming, and we all have that as a collective memory from it's scattered across the Yorkshire and the north,
and that memory has been with them ever since.
It has.
And there's been a theme right the way through.
It drew us together 25 years later, whatever it was.
Because last summer I interviewed Andy Nyman.
Right.
Because he was doing Ghost Stories. And
yeah.
You took over from him, didn't you?
I did, yeah, for 2 months, yeah, which was fantastic, because I was such a fan of it anyway. And I'd been to see it at the Lyric however many times, and then Andy and Jeremy said, Andy's having some time off, we were thinking...
So tell people the connection between...
Jeremy Dyson, who I write League of Gentlemen with, he's written this play, Ghost Stories, in the West End with Andy Nyman, who's brilliant actor and director and does a lot of Derren Brown's magic with him. In fact, he conceives a lot of it. So he's got a great kind of psychological mind. And
he's also very good at building a show and building stuff up to be a performance piece.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he is like the modern-day P.T. Barnum. He's so clever at the marketing, and he just has it all in his mind how he wants it to be presented. He's a real... incredible kind of mind on Andy. And they were recasting Ghost Stories with Andy's part, and I said, how on earth are you going to get anyone to do that part? It's completely, purely Andy. No one else could do it. And Jeremy said, we're thinking of you.
Well.
Yes, and it was great. I said, are you kidding? That's fantastic. So I leapt at the chance.
So hang on. So did you shoot the new series of Psychoville before or after you were in Ghost Stories?
Oh, before. Yeah, we filmed it this time last year. It's been ready for half a year to show.
Yeah, so why is this? Because the first series was in 2009, and so fans of it have had to wait...
A long, long time, yeah. It was just monetary. It was the fact that we were in a queue before we could get the money to put it on again. So it was filmed, but it couldn't be shown until this year's tax year, because that's where the money came from.
You see, that's how things creatively work here at the BBC. If you've got an idea, you put stars together who actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Suddenly then the tax man comes in and goes...
Yeah, well, you can't show it for 2 years. So we had a Halloween special last year in October, which was great, and it reminded people it existed. But then it's gone away again in this wait for it to come back on. But finally, it's on in 2 weeks' time, a week on Thursday.
Okay, so the first series ends with Mr. Jelly blowing up the asylum.
Jolly.
Mr. Jolly. Yeah.
Yes, that's one of the running jokes of Psychoville.
There you go.
And you've done it for me, which is great.
I have done it, actually. I've literally looked down and done it.
Jolly.
So where does this series pick up? If you finish with an explosion, where do you go?
Yeah, well, we didn't know we were going to get a second series, but we had to dare to think we would get one. So we just, because you never know. You don't know until months after, when they collate and tick boxes and decide upon whatever it is that they, whoever they are, decide.
The accountants, the taxmen.
So anyway, we thought, well, we'll just put this little thing in at the end that will be the springboard, if we get a second series, into the second series, which was this idea of Eileen Atkin's character comes back from the grave and she's looking for this missing locket, and that is kind of picked up in the second series, and we see the survivors of the explosion, and they're all being kind of followed by a mysterious figure played by Imelda Staunton, who's our new kind of baddie.
You see, this is the thing, you get great people on this
really
show.
Good actors, yeah.
And Dawn.
Dawn, yeah,
Dawn
absolutely
French, who
brilliant,
I just think, as the midwife.
Yeah, a great part for Dawn, because she's so steely in it. It's a side of Dawn that we knew she could do it, and it's that side that she doesn't get to flex a lot, but I think she's great as Joy, because it is properly unhinged, but you do kind of care as well, which is what we try to do with our characters.
I thought the birthing pool scene with Dawn, that was one of the greatest things I've seen.
Particularly horrific, yes.
So you conceived it. It says you create it. Does that mean you write it?
We wrote it, yes.
Yourself and
Steve Pemberton, who I do the league with. We wrote it on spec. We just thought we'd write this odd little programme. Kind of because we thought we wanted to see if we could do a kind of thriller comedy, like a 24 or Lost or a Dexter, where you cannot wait to watch the next one. And we thought, is that possible to do it with a comedy?
And it's all kind of linked with that I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. We had these 5 different characters that were all being blackmailed in the first series, and it was like, how are they linked, and the story unfolded week by week with these kind of cliffhanger endings that were just like, I can't believe they've done that, the twists and turns.
So are you now sick of working with Steve Pemberton? Because how long has it been? 16 years since League of Gentlemen?
Probably. Yes, it is. Yeah. No, I'm not sick of it. I mean, when we decided not to do any more League, we'd done it for 10 years, and we thought, let's just have a break. And I think, and we haven't gone back to doing anything collectively as a 4 since then. But I think we will. It was never that we got tired of it. We just thought we needed to kind of do our own thing. But me and Steve went off and did this. So it's become our thing. Mark's doing Sherlock, and Jeremy's doing his plays, and he writes for and script edits for stuff. So we're all doing all right, actually.
Because the scenes that you guys do together, I think they just jump right out of the screen. Dave and Maureen, and that seems to really.
Yeah, we only have those 2 characters where we're together in it. Yeah, so it's quite special, those moments. Yeah, and it was lovely to do those, but it was nice to kind of get away from the League and not play all the characters as well. We thought that would set it apart, because inevitably it was going to be compared to it, so we thought a way of not making it completely tit for tat the League again would be not to play all the parts.
Okay,
although we do a lot.
No, you do. You write it, conceive it, in it. Just have a great cast around you. That's just the way you roll.
Yeah, that's what happens, yeah.
And tell the people who are listening on the wireless, when does that begin?
That begins on Thursday the 5th of May, 10 o'clock on BBC 2.
He's a very busy man. Because normally you would finish an interview there. You would say, so you've got this great, second series of a hit comedy coming up. But no, there's more. We will take a record and discuss further after this.
Okay, great.
Too much drums at the end, I think.
Yeah, I think
a bit. Up until then, it was a classic.
It was fine. I was loving it. To be honest, we weren't listening to it, were we?
Okay, so you got to tell us about the second.
This other thing I'm doing.
It's not just this other thing you're doing. This is Cameron McIntosh has decided to do his first original musical in 10 years.
Yes.
Probably the biggest thing in the West End, and you're in it.
I am, yes. Yes. I don't see it in those ways. It's just my thing that I go and do at night. Shout in the evenings. But yes, I'm doing Betty Blue Eyes, which is a new Cameron Mackintosh musical at the Novello Theatre.
Which is an adaptation
of A Private Function by Alan Bennett, yeah. And I'm playing Gilbert Chilvers, played by Michael Palin in the original. And Sarah Lancashire is the Maggie Smith part.
Sarah Lancashire, once off Corrie.
Once off Corrie, yes, Raquel. Well, she wouldn't like me saying that.
No, you see, that's what happens, doesn't it? People actually move on to more successful things.
Yeah. But she shouldn't be. I don't think she's not proud of it. She loved doing that. But she's done other stuff as well. But it's fantastic. I'm loving doing it, just because it's a new thing. Because when I did Producers, which I also did, it's not my first foray into musical theatre. I did Leo Bloom at Drury
Small
Lane.
Part, very unsuccessful. Yeah.
In and out, coughing a spit, and that nearly killed me off. And so I did that, but that was all set up it was like a blueprint for the part. It was like Americans literally have it on numbers on the stage, and you get taught it like a graph. You stand there, number 2. 10 months into the Producers, the resident director was coming in going, "You were on 8 last night, can you make sure you're on 6?" And that's how precise you have to be.
Okay, so the freedom this time round, you were doing something...
was me creating the part, for the first time, and I'll be, the one, if it goes on and someone recasts, another Gilbert after me, they'll do what I did, hopefully.
You like
That'll
that,
show them.
You like that. You like the fact
I love the idea that people have to do my moves, yes.
So it's about a pig been reared for a royal wedding celebration.
It is. It's set in 1947, just after the war. Everyone's starving. Nothing's got any better, even though we've won the war. And the town council are rearing this pig for the up-and-coming wedding of Princess Elizabeth to Philip Mountbatten.
How very timely.
Absolutely, yeah. I think Cameron got them to marry just so it would fit.
That could be one. You see, I did entertainment news earlier on, and it was Gary Barlow, maybe one of the judges on X Factor, a close insider, which means it's a lie.
Yeah.
Now, if we had spoken before, I could have said, Cameron Mackintosh has announced that he managed to persuade Kate and William to marry as PR for his new play.
That's right, and I was the insider.
You see, that's showbiz news.
I know.
And
of course it is.
So Betty is a...
So Betty is a pig that we have on stage, yes. Is
it a real pig?
No. Damn. There was talk of a real pig, but Sir Richard Eyre directed this piece, did a... I think it was a Secret Policeman's Ball with a real pig in it, with a sketch with Ken Campbell, and it terrified the audience, was defecating everywhere, as you can imagine. It was completely uncontrollable, so it was very quickly dispelled.
However, your animatronic pig does pass wind, would that be correct?
Yes, frequently. Yes, so we've got an animatronic pig with a man underneath the stage who's operating Betty, and it's a beautiful pig. It's kind of like it's like a real pig, but with... Cameron described it as real pig, but with fairy dust sprinkled on it. Once it's on the stage, no one's looking at what I'm doing.
Who gets the pig on a day off? You see,
doesn't get taken home.
No, because
no.
If I was in it, I'd be wanting to have a couple of drinks and take the pig out with me.
It weighs a ton, you couldn't.
There's an old Irish thing, which was it was an evening in November, as well I do remember. I was strolling down the street in drunken pride. Well, my legs were all aflutter, and I landed in the gutter, and this pig came up and lay down by my side. I was lying in the gutter, thinking thoughts I could not utter, and I heard an Irish colleen softly say, "You can tell a man that boozes by the company he chooses," and at that the pig got up and walked away. and ever since, I would quite like to take the pig out.
That's great. Well, I understand now the gestation of the thought.
Could you possibly arrange that for me?
I'll moot it to them tonight, yeah. It's bolted down, but they can maybe unscrew it for you. Put it on casters and have you pull it along like one of them dogs.
When's the next day off?
Sunday.
Okay, so Sunday, that's it, folks. I can tell you that today and Saturday you can catch Reece in the show. You can catch you once tonight.
Yes.
Twice tomorrow. Then Sunday you have a day off.
I have a day off.
I get the pig.
Yeah.
And then you're meant to be back on Monday.
You bring it back about 6 o'clock on Monday.
Okay.
That'd be great.
If you go to see the show on Monday, can I apologise in the meantime for the missing pig, which will not be brought back. Psychoville is out. Betty Blue Eyes is on in the theatre. He is too successful, therefore I shall say adieu.
Thank you very much.
Reece Shearsmith, thanks for having you.
Thank you.